Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, day 3 of the boot camp starts at 11 Eastern today. So that is in 2 hours. For all of you guys that are joining, I look forward to it. Today's a big day in the boot camp because today we talk about trend, which is by far the most important thing. What we talk about in the boot camp is we go through 3 different strategies that everyone will have a really good handle on by the end of the boot camp. And today is really the big one, the trend following one, because that's really where I always say the big money is made by following a trend. So anyway, good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Serge Berger here from thesteadytrader.com. It's Wednesday. It's our Set the Market morning call. If you're here for the first time, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up like every day on these videos so that the algos continue to or pick up, hopefully, the morning show. We're going to go through the top 3 things this morning. I will tell you this morning, copper continues to go higher. We've been talking about copper endlessly and probably will talk about it endlessly for probably years to come. It will, of course, have down months and quarters at some point, but for now it continues to work higher. So let's see here. Yeah, appreciate it, John. Get people fired up to give us a thumbs up like. Everyone should be doing that, right? If not, maybe this show isn't for you. Top few things on my notepad this morning. I'm going to quickly go through eBay, which has now reached both of our profit targets on the Market Rover. Number 2, I want to talk about Texas Instruments. I want to talk about silver. I want to talk about Biotech stocks. And yeah, I think that's a good start, and maybe a quick update on gold as well. There are 2 gold charts that are dropping, I think, about right now inside of YouTube posts. So when you go into the YouTube channel, where you are right now, what you'll find is not only do I do YouTube Shorts in addition to this free morning call and video updates, but I also post certain charts. Once we've showed them to members for a while, into the YouTube posts. So when you go to the members area, you can then click on where it says posts. For example, you can see right now 4 minutes ago, a post just dropped on the long-term picture of gold, which I'm going to walk you guys through here right now. But if you want to grab that chart, you can grab it there. Give us a thumbs up like. And the short-term chart is going to drop, I think, in about 10 minutes. I planned it this morning to automatically post. So that's what's going on there. But let's talk about a couple things. First of all, let's talk about the broader equity market. Where are we? Obviously, that's on everyone's mind, as always. And of course, that is important. I have really nothing new to say than I've said for about a week and a half or so now, which is that my concern, if you want to call it that, is that we continue to basically, trade higher within this sort of rising wedge pattern. Again, that does not mean that it's the end of the equity market rally. It just means that it's getting more and more difficult to go up here. So I expect one morning we wake up and we just gap lower a bit. We're already seeing a lot of the chart chaser stocks start to kind of get to this point. So I'm fully hedged. I'm over hedged, as I said, over the past few days in equities. So basically, I'm actually net short now. I'm not like aggressively short or anything stupid like that, but I'm over hedged right now, at least for the short term. I've been doing a lot of stuff in the in futures this morning. I actually got rid of my Bitcoin futures. I added a bit of gold futures, got rid of my silver futures. I've got some updates for you guys on the macro side as well. That's number one. Number two, I want to quickly give you an update on eBay. This is a stock that is going to report earnings next week, Wednesday. Now, yesterday the stock was up 3.45%. And what you'll find if you look at eBay on sort of a multi-year chart is that yesterday's rally has now basically broken the stock to fresh all-time highs, but it's basically also more or less back to where it was in October of 2021. So at these levels here get more difficult. If you have the market rover, you received an email about a week and a half ago that we received a trend following buy signal in eBay. And the signal came on the 11th of July, and we talked about targets number 1 and 2. Target number 2, which was at 80, I think just about $81, has now been reached. So that trade is over. So if you're using the market rover, and God willing you do, because you're going to need it going forward, not just now. So well done on that trade. So eBay, it's now, for us, it's now a wait and see to see what happens after earnings next week. Again, it's back to where it was in 2021. We just had a nice trade from a trend following perspective, and now we're wait and see. The other thing I want to point out here is Texas Instruments. And this is maybe something that I would expect to see a bit more frequently now that earnings season's upon us. The stock is down. If you look at this is the price action here after hours. So the stock is about, what is this? About 10%, gapping down about 10% this morning. It's right now trading just north of $190. Basically, they kind of admitted to tariff issues. They guided pretty wide and lower, meaning they they're kind of like saying, "Oh, anything can happen," kind of thing. If you look at it, so the stock is currently at right now with about 20 minutes left to go until the cash market opens, trading around just north of $190. To put this into perspective here on the chart, that is here. That's more or less right at the 200 period moving average. That does not mean that it's going to hold there. It can easily slice through that. Or it can easily bounce and then go lower, or just bounce and go back up. I don't know. What I'm trying to tell you is that this stock has now gapped down 10% this morning, and there's a lot of chart chasers that probably, were long the stock into earnings, and now they're getting completely neutered this morning. So I would encourage people to stop, behaving like a reckless donkey in a China shop and start learning how to risk manage, meaning take your damn swing trades off before the earnings report, or at least reduce it to a point where it's so minimal that you won't feel any pain if it goes bad, but you can still make money, and then maybe add some once if it goes in your direction. So, or just have an investment, right? Like an investment view is different than a trading view. So that's what's going on with Texas Instruments. We are likely in the members in our members area, probably going to do a trade on this today. I have to see how it acts in the first hour or so, but I've got an idea for a trade once the stock sells a little bit. Then I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. So this is more of a risk on, risk off idea. So if you look at the price of Bitcoin and you overlay the S&P 500 to it, you can see. Can you guys all see this? This is Bitcoin. I just overlaid the S&P. It's the same chart, right? So I have a difficult time imagining that if the S&P were to correct somewhat at some point over the next couple of months, Bitcoin would not do the same. It can, right? But I'm skeptical of that right now. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that pans out. But I'm actually very skeptical right now of that happening. So I actually reduced, I own some Bitcoin from a long-term perspective, but I actually sold my Bitcoin futures this morning from a trading perspective. So I have, long positions, and then I basically hedge or trade against them if it has to be on a short-term perspective, either with options or if there's an ETF, I'll do it. In this case, I like to do it with futures because they're trading, quite around the clock, except for the weekend. So that's what I've done, because if the S&P does mean revert a little bit, I don't, it's difficult for me to imagine that Bitcoin wouldn't be inverted at this juncture, a little bit at least. So that's an update there. Another thing to bring up is silver. We've been, unbelievably bullish on silver. I continue to be very bullish long term, but I do want to remind people where silver is right now. Okay, this is what the price of silver looks like on a long-term chart. And, we can be a bit crafty here by sort of, adapting these lines. But for the most part, you can see that silver is really at the upper end of that very choppy and wide trading range that it's been in. I don't chase it. I've learned that a long time ago. I know a lot of people like to chase. That's the nature of what they've done over the past 15 years, and they will blow up their entire money at some point. But I prefer to not chase silver up here. And it's also, by the way, getting more or less right to $40. So listen, it's silver. It can do anything. It can go to 50 tomorrow, right? But from a reward to risk perspective, I've made quite a bit of money now over the past, the latest move here over the past few weeks. So I'm happy taking this off, but that's more of a short-term view than a longer-term view, because longer-term, I still think silver is going to go a lot higher. If you look at silver through the absolute chart. Actually, let me show you this way. We'll look at the spot price. This is the long-term chart of silver. Oh gosh, what is this? Here. Then you can see that there's potentially a very, very bullish case to be made long term. But again, I just respect the fact that silver is very volatile. So whether it's the SLV ETF or something else, I just think the fact that we're now getting back to, kind of ish where we were in 2011, to me is good enough to take some chips off the table. And then from an individual stock perspective or from a sector perspective, I just want to point out that biotechnology stocks are starting to look better and better. If you look at yesterday's move, we had a pretty nice move in Amgen. I own a little bit of Gilead Sciences. And if you are using the market rover, you'll notice that the IBB is now also turning neutral trend. It's not yet bullish trend. In fact, not even close. But, we are seeing a lot more constructive price action here. And a lot of these biotech companies are going to report earnings over the next few weeks. So that's one to keep in mind from a sector perspective. So that's really what I want to do here, nice and short. I don't know if anyone has any questions in terms of what we just went through here this morning. But I look forward to seeing you guys over in Trade Ops. And then, of course, all of you guys that are bootcamp members, we will see you, or bootcamp attendees, I should say. I'll see you in about an hour and 3/4 at 11 o'clock Eastern time. When we go through trend following today. It's a very, very important day for that topic on day 3. So thanks for being here. Please, as always, subscribe to the channel. Please give us a thumbs up and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Take care.